show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly sunny and humid good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Matthew Lester. Out of the humidity, we had the opportunity to slide down for a meeting and take in a couple of ball games down in the Houston area over the end of the week and the weekend. And I guess you could say I brought Matthew some of that heat and humidity back, because it was about 95, 96, 98 and humid down there, but that's expected. For us, I won't say it's a treat, but for those folks that have swimming pools or close to the beach, weather like this is ideal right now. What do you have on the thermometer?
Currently, over at the airport, it's sunny at 83. Over in Midland, it's sunny at 84. Here at Radio Center, it's sunny at 86. We have southwest winds at 16 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 29.97, and it's falling.
Unfortunately for some folks, we had some severe weather overnight and early this morning. Temperatures were revving up pretty good. And as Matthew indicated, we really didn't drop down all that much overnight last night. Just to kind of give you an idea, low temperatures in the 70s were very common over a good part of the Great Lakes Bay area and areas to the south. Saginaw, we had an overnight low of 71, Bay City 74, Midland coming in at 72, Bad Axe at 74, Gladwin 74, Houghton Lake 71, Vassar was at 74, and Vassar picked up, I believe it was a little bit better than an inch of rain. We'll check on that here in just a second, early this morning as the system moves through. Caseville, 73 degrees. We were looking at not much of anything in the way of moisture from any of the reporting stations in Huron County. But you get a little bit further south, that's where the spots started to show up, where we had quite a bit of precipitation, and in some cases, a good solid half to 3/4 of an inch. Vassar officially had 1.26 inches of rain as of about 8 o'clock this morning, and picked up a little bit more. Owasso had almost 1.2 inches. Durand had 0.85 of an inch. Burton, the Genesee County in that area, Linden had 0.4, Goodrich had 0.7, Burton had more than an inch, but then Lapeer looking at maybe 1/10 of an inch, and that was it. Livingston County, a little bit more, 3/4 of an inch at a number of reporting stations there. Oakland County, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, very common. Washtenaw County is where we started to pick up a little bit more. Chelsea, 1.6 inches. Ann Arbor had 3/4 of an inch. Manchester had 2/3 of an inch. Saline coming in at right around a 1/2 inch. As far as in the Detroit area, 1/10 of an inch up to as much as a 1/2 inch being reported in some of the burbs over there. Now, you get a little bit further north, not much. Sault Ste. Marie had 1,300. Alpena had 1/4 of an inch. Houghton Lake just barely a trace. Pelston not even a 1/10 of an inch. Gaylord was reporting 1,100. Standish had no precipitation to report as of about 8 o'clock this morning. I should say close to 10 o'clock this morning. The same thing with West Branch. We did have, Petoskey had about a 1/3 of an inch there. Probably the most impressive rainfall amounts and severe weather, to the point where there was a touchdown reported in southwest Michigan this morning around, once again, the Kalamazoo area in Van Buren County. We're looking at Lansing, more than 2.5 inches of rain in the gauge at the airport. Kalamazoo had 2.6. Lansing had 2.61. Battle Creek had 1.6. Jackson had over 3 inches of rain as of about 10:30 this morning. 3.09 to be specific. Charlotte looking at just under 1.9. Marshall, Michigan, a little bit better than an inch of rain there. So as you can tell, the heaviest amount of precipitation, once again, southern half and more so the southern third of the lower peninsula. And that's where a lot of these systems over the next few days are going to be tracking. We're going to be looking at spotty, isolated shower activity due to the higher humidities and the warmer temperatures and a prevailing south wind. Now, we're going to be looking at a southwest breeze gusting up to about 25 miles per hour this afternoon, then tapering off to about 7-8 miles tonight. Tomorrow, once again, southwest winds gusting to 25, and that's going to stay around pretty much all day tomorrow and tomorrow night. Now, Wednesday, we'll see a little bit of a decrease in the prevailing wind, more along the lines of 10, 12, 13 miles per hour, but still out of the west and the southwest. Why? Because we have a low pressure system that's right now, the center of it is just south of Hudson Bay, well up in Canada, another low pressure system over Wyoming, and there's a front that connects the two. That low over Wyoming is going to work its way into and around Nebraska over the next 24 hours, and it does look like it's going to pretty much stay there, be deflected to the northeast, because a big dome, high pressure, located in the eastern Tennessee Valley is going nowhere for the next few days. So we're going to have a continual pumping of warm, humid air up into the state of Michigan. So heat advisories obviously are out, more so in southern Michigan than what they are here in the Great Lakes Bay area. But as we said at the beginning of the broadcast, anybody that's got a pool or access to the water, a beach, they're going to love this weather this week. And of course, summer finally officially sets in here toward the tail end of the work week. 95, sun, clouds, pop-up shower today. 74, partly cloudy, more so in the way of clouds, southern third of the lower peninsula tonight. Sunset at 9:20, sunrise tomorrow morning at 5:55. Tomorrow, 93 for a high, sun, clouds, a pop-up shower around, 73 for a low. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, more sun. The chances of precipitation will taper off a little bit, but the temperature isn't. 95 for a high, 73 for a low. Thursday, sun, clouds, an afternoon pop-up shower, not out of the question. 93 for a high, 69 for a low on Thursday night. Friday, still a chance of a shower in the afternoon, and that'll hold true into Saturday and into Sunday. Friday's high will be 95. Saturday's high will be 89. Sunday's high will be 82. Long range take us all the way through the end of the month. Above average on the temperature, slightly above normal on the precipitation. Incidentally, the warmest ever 17th of June will not be today. It was back in 1994. 99 was our high, 71 was our low. And for those of you looking for some cooler weather, on this date, back in 1974, 56 was our high, 50 was our low. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Matthew, standing by, who do we have?
Up next, we have Cody Harris from Star of the West, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrient Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Just a couple of reminders. First of all, tomorrow we're going to be at a golf course. We're going to be at the Polecat over in the Mount Pleasant area, where the Michigan Agribusiness Association is having their annual golf outing to support their scholarship program. We'll be broadcasting from there, doing the farm show. That will be brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag. And also coming up next week, Tuesday, June the 25th, we'll be out at the MSU Saginaw Valley Research and Extension Center on Reese Road in Richville. Michigan Wheat Program's Summer Field Day. That field day starts with a breakfast at 8:15, and it will include research plots and variety tours. If you want to register to sign up, don't forget, you still can do it, miwheat.org. We say good morning to Cody Harris over at Star of the West. Cody, the heat and humidity has got the markets jumping.
Yeah, I wish it was going the right direction, though. So I hate to be
no.
the bearer of bad news again, but we're down across the board here this morning, Terry. Kind of big time too. I mean, these markets keep getting beat up. It seems like the last couple of weeks or so. I mean, to kind of look at it right now, got cash wheat that's down 18, $5.90 on the white, $5 even on the red. New crop wheat also down 18, $5.90 on the white, $5 even on the red. Cash corn that's down 3 at $3.67. New crop corn down 5 at $4 even. And then soybeans are definitely getting beat up today. Cash soybeans are down 22 at $10.83, and new crop soybeans are down 18 at $10.52.
So I have to assume there's got to be some rain somewhere because rain makes grain. But is that the reason we're seeing this?
Yeah, there's a little bit of weather market here today. It seems like there's kind of some mixed weather outlooks that lie ahead. I think there's some heavy rain and maybe even some possible flooding that's expected maybe in the northwestern and northern plains. But then we kind of look east of Illinois, kind of in our neighborhood. We're looking hot and mostly dry over the next 10 days. So I think there's a little bit of uncertainty of what that's really going to happen. So that's kind of pulling the market down. And then a couple wires I was reading this morning. I think the National Bureau of Statistics over the weekend, they stated China was likely to have another bumper grain harvest. I think that's really affecting beans. And again, another kind of bean note here this morning. NOPA that has their May crush report coming out noon our time here today, and their average estimate is right around 178 million bushels, and that would just barely exceed the record that was set a year ago this time. So that's kind of affecting it. Everyone's maybe waiting to see what that report has to say. And then, like you said, with this kind of the weather we've had the last week or so, wheat harvest is way ahead of schedule. I was talking to a few guys today. I think winter wheat harvest is obviously it's rapidly advancing, and thoughts from some guys are that by the end of June we may be half done. And I think hard wet wheat's right around 25 to 27% done as far as harvest is concerned. So everything just seems ahead of schedule and on a pace, and everything's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it sure looks that way. Taking a look at some of the crops, and especially over the weekend and then early this morning, boy, that wheat is really advancing fast, and I'm seeing a lot of dry beans going in and went in over the past few days.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. It seems like I've been kind of driving around here the last week or so pretty religiously, and it seems like daily you're starting to see that wheat start changing, start really turning. And everything looks pretty good. I think like I said last week, I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule as far as harvest concerned, but everything is looking good. Everything seems to be advancing nicely.
Fingers crossed. Here we go. All right, Cody.
Yes,
thank you.
Crossed.
We'll talk to you again. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining us right now. The market report brought to you by Thumb Bank, making agricultural loans since 1895. You know, they've got locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region to serve you, and they're going to take care of you because they do know that farming continues to offer challenges that are very demanding. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust, equal opportunity lender, and member FDIC. And by Schaefer and Beerline, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Frankenmuth, Chrysler as well. If you're in the market for a new Ram professional truck or a Ram heavy-duty truck, and you want to buy with confidence from a business-linked dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is, Schaefer and Beerline is where you should be going right now. Don't forget employee pricing for all on new Ram heavy-duty trucks in stock right now at Schaefer and Beerline, where family and service sells cars. Doug Klein, good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm doing good. How you doing?
Not too bad. What's going on?
Well, lots going on. A couple of the big banks raised the target on the S&P. One of them's up to 6,000 on the S&P 500, which is roughly 10% higher than it is right now. So that's pretty optimistic, I would say. What else is going on? I've talked to 3 people in the last week that won't sell their NVIDIA stock. And not my clients anyway, but just out of the blue, they talked to me about NVIDIA. And one of them won't sell it because he never sells anything. I get that. One of them won't sell it because they don't want to pay the tax on it. I get that. One of them won't sell it because he doesn't want to pay his own insurance because Obamacare is taking care of him. And if he sells it, he's going to be in a tax bracket that actually makes him pay for health insurance. I'm like, well, that kind of ticks me off.
Well, yeah.
Really. But, oh, well, I guess you got to. You play the game, the hand that's dealt you, I guess.
Exactly. That's
You
it.
know?
And if your ace is up, you don't really want to trade them in.
Right. I'm like, oh, well. But so anyway, here's your numbers. The July corn is 446.5, down 3.5. December corn 465, down 5.25. The July soybeans 1158, down 21.75. November soybeans 1131.25, down 18.5. July wheat 594.75, down 18, and December wheat 633.5, down 16.75. The crude oil is 78.83. That's up 80 cents, and that's holding up a little too strong for my taste. Heating oil is 249.05, up 0.6 of a penny. Gasoline is 242.29. That's up 2.5 cents. Natural gas is 283, down 11.25 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.3752 Canadian. That's up 17 ticks. The dollar buys 157.80 yen. That's up 43 ticks. The euro's at 107.20. That's up 20 ticks. And the dollar's at 105.50. That's down 5 ticks. Gold's at 23.15, down 22 bucks. Silver's 29.18, down 28 cents. Platinum's at 962.80, that's up 4 bucks. And copper's at 441.65, that's down 5.5 cents.
You have a good one, Doug.
Thanks, you too.
I will. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Serviceman brought to you today so far by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain. You know, they've been serving folks since 1983, and they continue to do a pretty good job, especially when you have the opportunity to talk to Vic Huffer, who's a certified crop advisor at Freeland Bean and Grain. He's got some answers to some of the questions you might have, so check him out. Again, serving you is their business, and they're doing it every day at Freeland Bean and Grain. On the line with us right now, who do we have, Matthew?
Right now, we have Robert Stoutenberg, and he's an agronomist with the West Growing District for Michigan Sugar Company.
Rob, good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm good, Terry. How you doing?
Hey, not too bad. A little warm out there, but they tell me some of the crops don't mind it at all. But now let's talk some sugar beets here. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing a very healthy crop. Again, last night we got another shower, and depending on where you are in the west, up in the Saginaw area, here we got about 6/10 in the southern half of the west. You know, down where I live, we got 1.5 inches. So we're staying pretty saturated, and I'm hoping these warm temps will start to dry the ground out a little bit. We could use that.
Yeah. Now, as far as challenges in the crop, are the farmers keeping up with it right now?
Yeah, I would say as far as challenges, we're still dealing with some insect issues like cutworm, and then, you know, since we're getting all these rains, it's feeding the crops and it's feeding the weeds as well. So in the west, in some of the other parts of Michigan, we're seeing water hemp pop up, and we're making sure guys are staying on top of that so it doesn't become a real big headache for us.
Well, speaking of headaches, I won't call it a headache, more of getting your feet wet practically across the row, almost everywhere. We've got the sugar beets right now, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, they're growing good. It looks like we got a really good crop. And I look forward to seeing what we're going to have this fall. I just hope we dry out a little bit so that we don't have a lot of disease moving into July.
I've seen some pictures where they pulled what usually is a carrot, if that, this time of the year. Some of these beets are taking a pretty big form right now.
Oh yeah, and they don't have to go down as far into the ground to reach the water. It's all sitting there right where they need it, so they can expand out and grow.
So at this stage of the game, our producers just keep an eye on the fungal issues and some of those things, huh?
Yep. Look out for bugs or anything crazy happening. You might see some nutrient deficiencies, but just keep an eye on the field. And if you see something crazy, give us a phone call and we'll stop out there and address it.
Robert, thank you very much. You take care. Have a great day, okay?
All right, you too. Thank you.
Will do. Report brought to you today by the folks at ACH Seeds. There is a passion for production. They do take pride in pushing the limits at ACH Seeds. More sugar, better sugar. That's been the goal since day one, and the resources are here to help. For more information, just get a hold of the folks at ACH Seeds, supporting the next generation of farmers. Going to take a quick break, and then who do we have up next, Matthew?
Up next, we have Jerry Samolsky from the Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville.
Check out the all-new LS MT2 Series compact tractors at Nagy's Tractor Sales in Omer. The new and improved MT2 features 25 to 42.5 horsepower engine, hydrostat or shuttle transmission, and four-wheel drive. They have an all-new hood design with larger grille for better cooling, larger tires for improved traction, new LCD dash to give you more information on when service is due, LED headlamps, and larger upgraded platform area to give you ample legroom. The all-new Quick Tack loader has a lift capacity up to 2,500 pounds, and the Quick Tack bucket makes it a snap to switch to bucket or grapple. Nagy's has all the new MT2s in stock, including cab and platform, premium and economy models. The LS MT2 premium cab models features heat and air conditioning, premium suspension seat with armrests, remote hydraulics, third function joystick for grapple operation, and much more. For a limited time at Nagy's, take advantage of 0% financing on all MT2 series tractors up to 96 months. See dealer for details. Stop into Nagy's Tractor Sales just south of Omer today and check out your new LS MT2 series tractor or visit nagystractor.com.
Along with us, Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Terry.
We're talking the heat, we're talking the humidity, and we're probably talking some issues maybe in the front yard or the backyard.
Yeah, Terry, I think, as much as he was saying he got 1.5 inches down there and other people, I mean, we just didn't up in our area get a lot of rain. So again, the most commonly asked question is, how much do I water? And, it's paying attention to how much rain we have. And if you need to dig a little hole, even as big around as, a little trowel or something to get down and see what it's like down there. I'm looking at the Munger weather station from MSU, and we're about average for moisture. But now with turf grass, we're seeing the soil temps come up, and that grass that's been growing like crazy, that's going to slow down. And without much more moisture, it might be browning up in the next week or two. So we're getting into our summer. I mean, summer's coming up in a few more days. We're getting into those weather patterns, and boy, some water would be great like we had last year.
Yeah, you're right.
With shrubs that we have, Terry, we got to really look at taking care of those, particularly the newly planted ones. Remember, plants do not take up moisture through the leaves. It has to get down to the root to where you plant them. So if you're going to water them, make sure you soak the bottom of them, not just spray the tops.
Good advice.
Now that's nice that it cools them down, Terry, but it's not going to be enough to get them growing.
There you go. Jerry Samolsky, thank you so much. You have a great day, okay?
Wonderful, Terry. You too.
Will do.
Stay cool.
Over to Yo and Yo Accounting we go right now. Eric Sawatsky. Eric, let's talk quickly about deferring tax on the sale of real estate.
Yeah, Terry, there are some options. If you're going to be selling a piece of real estate for a gain, so more than what your investment into the property is, the tax on that can be significant if you have a large gain. So a few things to keep in mind. One, if it's a principal residence and you've been in it for 3 of the last 5 years, many times you can exclude that gain completely. There is a tax code that basically allows you to exclude $250,000 of gain, or even $500,000 of gain for a married couple. So that's one thing if it's a principal residence. If it's a business or rental property or even investment property that you own, there are a couple ways to defer that. One is to do what we would call a like-kind exchange, where you would identify another property that you would purchase with the funds from the sale. You have to jump through a few hoops, so you want to plan that ahead of time. But then you basically get to defer that gain into the new property until the newly acquired property is sold. So that's a really good option. But again, you don't want to get into a purchase agreement before you start the process on that, or you'll lose that tax benefit.
Good advice.
So there are good options there if you're looking at a gain on a property.
Eric, you take care. Have a great day, okay?
You too, Terry.
Will do. Eric Sawatsky at Yo and Yo Accounting. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update, so you stick around for that. Now we conclude our program with a playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coins in Bay City at 602 North Euclid Avenue.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. There's a new government push